Happy Friday. We've made it. We're at the end of the week. And in 2 days, we'll start a new week. But we're going to end this week with a bang. To all of you who don't know me, my name is David, and I'd like to personally welcome you to Sin City Crypto Live, where we go live Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Not sure why I decided to change my intro last minute, but here we are. Guys, we have an exciting show today. So we got a video from Coinbase. Brian Armstrong and Paul Grewal, the chief legal officer of Coinbase, they fired back at the SEC. We have more SEC footage. We have footage from Gary Gensler from 2018. These keep popping up. We're going to talk about that. Also, Elizabeth Warren fails miserably, falls flat on her face as she tries to reintroduce a horrible crypto regulation bill. We also have big news from Venmo, MasterCard. We got news on Solana. We got news on Cardano. We got news on Bitcoin. We just got news. But before we get into that news, I'd like to introduce you to my new favorite co-host, Forrest.
What's up? It's an honor to be on the show.
Forrest, it's an absolute
this is our
honor.
usual Friday slot.
I know. It's minus Robin, which is addition by subtraction. But all jokes aside, I believe Rob will be back Monday. So I know there's one person in here that really misses Robin, and that's Rico. Rico, I'm here to tell you. Well, Sunday, technically, because he does his rant and ramble. But you'll get Robin, I promise you, okay? Just hang tight, my friend, all right? Just deal with us one more day. That's all we got. Forrest, it's been a fun week, man. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us yet again.
Yeah, doing well. Look, when crypto's doing well and bouncing back, I can't complain. So it's another day of decent price action and good opportunities in the market.
Amen to that, man. Amen to that. Crypto Brad, there's no need to put a tree if you remember this channel. There is a forest emoji, so feel free to use that. Forrest, I want to kick things off with a bang. Now, we know a lot of the younger generation, call them Gen Z, the 18 to 25-year-olds, they live on social media. A lot of them get their news on social media. And I found this video on TikTok. And Rocco, just make sure we keep Forrest's face on the side as I play this video, okay?
Okay.
So this was on TikTok, not sure how long ago, but I want you to rate this investment advice on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you should run the other way, 10 being, oh my God, do exactly what this person says. So Rocco, can we pull this?
Look, at the end of the day, if you really want to be prepared for the next crypto bull run, you need to, first of all, get a personal loan, max it out. Then you need to go open a zero interest credit card for 24 months, max that out, buy as much crypto as you can, put it all into Shiba Inu, and wait 2 years.
Now, 1 to 10, how would you rate this person's crypto investment?
Repping the Shiba Inu hat. 1 to 10. As far as risk, atrocious. I think he's got to be joking. There's no way he's being serious.
I don't know, is he?
I don't. He might be. If he is, then that's that's
I don't
crazy.
think he's joking.
Look, you can be both. Like, you can create a decent investment thesis around Shiba Inu, and timing it around a major pump in a bull market. That's not the issue. That's not the piece I have an issue with. The issue is putting yourself. You never, ever, ever put yourself in a potentially harmful, long-term harmful, distressed financial situation to buy crypto. Just don't. That's never a smart idea, or any investment for that matter. Even if you're trying to buy, whatever it may be, equities or gold, so whatever. Just don't take out high interest debt. And I know he said 0% interest, but don't take out debt to finance investments. Is usually not a bad idea, or not a good idea.
Yeah, and the people that do get those 24-month 0% interest, they usually have high credit scores, which means they're usually financially responsible, which means they're probably not going to do what he says you should do. Now, I want to go to something else here. So I want to show you this chart. We tweeted this yesterday, and I want the chat to play along as well. Before us, you walk into a cafeteria, and it's just you. You got your plate of food, and you got to pick a table, right? Got to pick a table. Are you sitting down with Brady and Beyonce, with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, or with SpongeBob and Zuck? Are you maybe sitting with Taylor Swift, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and that funny Greg guy from Twitter? Or are you going to sit down with Snoop Dogg and Joe Biden and maybe convince Joe Biden to hit the pen? What are you picking here?
Oh wow, this is phenomenal.
That's bad.
Ooh, look,
You got
low
Andrew Tate,
key.
Barack Obama.
That's a decent one. Look, I know my wife would pick Taylor Swift for sure, but I'm going from a different angle here. I'm looking for some insider information.
Jerome Powell.
I'm looking for an edge on the markets. And because of that, what better combo can you get than number 4 there? Talk to Nancy Pelosi and Jerome Powell, get the drop on what's happening, not only in the stock market, what's Congress doing to influence some different stocks, and then what's the next rate hike situation looking like? Are we going to get a recession? Are you going to continue to hike rates, or are we going to turn that money printer back on, and when? So that's the play right there, number 4.
Also, you're at an advantage by sitting at number 4 because if you're lucky, you might get a guest appearance from Paul Pelosi, the big most successful trader of all time, apparently. While everyone was bleeding money, he was making 30-40%. Rocco, where are you sitting?
I actually put my answer right below there.
Right below there. That doesn't count. You have to sit at one of these tables. You can't sit out.
I say I would sit outside.
You will sit outside.
I will sit outside. Yeah, I don't see anything that's gonna.
I want to know what the chat. Where would you sit? Where would you sit? You know what I would sit? I feel like I would. I like to laugh. And so I think sitting at number 5 would be so funny because you got Joe Biden, probably get contact high. Snoop Dogg's funny dude. Always wanted to meet him. And, we can really see if Joe Biden is a robot or not. And this was pretty fun. Anton said Greg and Elon. Greg's I wonder if that's what Greg actually looks like. I don't think so. Either way, yeah, sitting at a table
number
with Elon
9
Musk,
would be epic.
That would be epic.
Number
honestly,
4.
if you're going for sheer entertainment value, number 9.
Number 9, Trump and Taylor Swift. Or would you try to sit at number 10 and convince Warren Buffett that crypto is not rat poison?
Pass.
Nah, waste of time. His expiry date's coming up anyways. All right. Then we have this. This is not really funny, but this was pretty cool. So Alexei Pertsev, you don't know who he is. He's the creator of Tornado Cash. He's been in jail for quite a while. He tweeted for the first time in years. And so he was released from a jail in the Netherlands. He's awaiting trial. Sorry, what is AFK? Do you know what that stands for?
Away from keyboard. It's a gaming term.
Got it.
It's like when you're away.
Well, that's how you know you're old. Sorry, I was away from the keyboard for a while. What did I miss? So yeah, that was pretty cool. Obviously, we haven't really gotten your take on the whole Tornado Cast situation for us. I'm assuming you obviously agree that he should have never been put in jail, right? I mean, you create something and kind of leave it be, and whatever someone decides to do with it, you shouldn't be held liable, right? I mean, is that kind of your stance?
Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, you should be able to program a decentralized protocol and not go to jail for it. I mean, it's insane. Yeah. Look, hopefully the silver lining here is that maybe, just maybe, he'll be found not guilty and it'll set some sort of precedent moving forward. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I think they'll probably, he'll probably suffer some consequences more than he already has. So it's unfortunate.
But that was pretty interesting to share. And then this is quite interesting as well. First Republic Bank, who has been bleeding from every orifice in their body, is down another 50% this morning. Now, Forrest, we've seen the FDIC takeovers, right? When they put a bank in a receivership, usually happens Friday after the markets close. If they do take over First Republic Bank, is that going to be, and obviously it'll probably cause more panic in the banking system. Can you see Bitcoin pumping to maybe 32, 34, 40K? I mean, I know we're speculating here, but.
Yeah, it's interesting. At the end of the day, the news can really just be an excuse for the trend continuing, right? If you saw this headline 3 months ago, and you saw that, Silvergate, SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic Bank would all go under within a span of like 1 to 2 months in Q1 and Q2 of this year, you'd have sold Bitcoin. You'd have said that's not good. Those are crypto banks. We gotta get out of Bitcoin. Yet Bitcoin's pumping, and the narrative has reversed. So a lot of times the news or the narrative can just twist to fit whatever's happening. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin's in this nice bear market rally, and continuation up above 30K seems totally realistic.
Yeah, and we'll get into a Bitcoin chart in a second. But first, we're going to take a look at the overall crypto markets. Also, if you're new here, say hello. Rocco's going to compile a list for me, and I promise I'll throw some OLAs out today. Maybe we'll even get Forrest to throw some OLAs out to the community today. But we have crypto market cap coming in at $1.2 trillion. 24-hour volume down from about 55 billion down to 46 billion. Bitcoin dominance continues to inch up, sitting at 47.1%. ETH dominance holding steady at 19%. Bitcoin 29.1. It did just barely nibble on 30K for a second there. It just kind of nibble, and then it got rejected again. So, Forrest, and as far as the Bitcoin fear and greed index, before we jump into the chart here, we're coming in at 64. Yesterday, we were at 59. Last week, we were neutral. People are getting greedy again. What's the Bitcoin chart? What is the Bitcoin chart saying? Anything happen? This rejection at 30K, are we forming some sort of double top or triple top? Also, I saw an article, I'm not going to share it, but it said on the Bitcoin Weekly, we're seeing a massive cup and handle play out. Maybe you can look at that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me share my screen here. And really, 30K is the big psychological level, right? But we've got some structural levels in here, our margin pressure levels. And what you'll see is off of our most recent swing low, we're just pressing up against this 3x long margin pressure level. This is the range that we need to break through. We had broken through it before we crashed due to that whole like Arkham alert false alarm thing. But this was the perfect resistance. Remember, when we first started moving off the bottom here after Silvergate and SVB went under, and people, started really moving into Bitcoin. Bitcoin started pumping. This was the level that we tapped perfectly, ended up setting the top of our range. Then once we broke through it, we used it as support. However, we were not able to maintain the momentum. We put in a lower high, broke down below, and now we're pressing back up against it. So what's actually happening in the market here, from an incentive standpoint and from a structural standpoint, is really very simple. 29,354. As soon as Bitcoin's price pops up above 29,354, you can no longer go long on 3x leverage while maintaining a liquidation point below your local low. Well, maintaining a liquidation point below this local low of 19,569 is incredibly attractive, right? So the incentive to actually buy or go long diminishes greatly until we break through and flip it into support. And we flip it into support by breaking through, and then when you go down to retest it, those 3x longs come in below, because as soon as you go below, you can start 3x longing again, and that pushes the price back up above this level. So right now we're just kind of consolidating, chopping sideways exactly on this level. If we get rejected, look for the range lows, which we've just kind of have an entire demand region, right? We have a pretty strong demand region. So we may not even go down to 26K if we take another trip down here. My expectation would be this little kind of inverse head and shoulders. The last thing that I'll mention here is that this support, now that we've come down and built a ton of support in this range, what you'll start to find is this correction gives renewed confidence to those longs coming in. So instead of wanting to hide or needing to hide their liquidation point below 19.5, all of a sudden we've built a really nice strong range. We've come down with a sharp crash and gotten rejected. All of a sudden, these leveraged buyers are more confident buying or keeping their liquidation point below this local low, which gives us a new set of margin pressure levels. You will note that, and I'll clear this up because 10x is a big one. Oops, this will only take a second. We'll get rid of 9, 8, 7, and 6. Right, you'll note that we have this confluence here at around 30K, which is our psychological level, right, where you can no longer go long on 10x leverage while maintaining your liquidation point below this last local low. So the next step up here the next big one would be our 5x long, and then the 4x and 3x are also very big ones. So you have 36K and potentially 40K as big resistance points if we continue to move up here in this trend.
Okay, do you mind taking a look? I mean, this whole massive cup and handle on the weekly, are you seeing that? And if we are seeing that cup and handle forming on the weekly, what kind of, if it does break out of that and that pattern does fulfill, what kind of price targets should we be looking at potentially?
Yeah, so I'm assuming this thing is what you may be referring to.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, cup and handles are an interesting pattern. If you actually look into the data and back test, they're more accurate on longer term timeframes. They're more likely to hold on longer term timeframes, which is a good thing, right? In this case, right, the multi-month timeframe, we're on the weekly here. Do I put a lot of stock in just patterns in general, particularly the cup and handle pattern? No, but what's very clearly happening here is this is our big psychological levels that have held essentially our range. This is 30K, right? And this is 60K, right? And this 30 to 60K range, right, was our bull market range. And when we re-enter this range, what we very likely go and test either the top of the range, which would be, I'm not going to say very likely go up and test the top of the range. That's what we did last bear market cycle. But we very likely re-enter it very, very aggressively. And that's been the case, right? On a smaller time frame, we saw a very similar setup where we had this range here. You see these red lines. We had the deviation below, and then once we re-entered, we fired up very aggressively to the top of the range. So this is the exact same pattern, right? It's almost the exact same pattern, just on a larger scale. This is your large deviation, right? And you re-enter the range, you can fire up into it very aggressively. Just to kind of reiterate that, you kind of had this prior range last bear market cycle, call it something like, you could probably, depending on, that's probably where I'd put it. I want to, because there's a margin pressure in there, a level in there that I want to include. But you get this deviation below, you re-enter the range, right, and you fire back up to the top. You can see where that support came in, turned into resistance, so that ended up being our deviation. So, all that to say is, look, this is potentially a massive deviation out of our bull market range, and we're potentially re-entering.
That's interesting. I'm pretty sure you've shown this before, but taking a look at it, having that pattern form out more, they look eerily similar. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I know yesterday we talked about, hey, what for you is going to constitute a bull market, and putting in new highs. We're seeing news articles and a massive bank. I think the Standard Chartered, something like that, yesterday or a couple days ago. They came out and they put a price target of Bitcoin at 100K by the end of the year. So that'll be interesting. Before we get into the altcoins, I want to give a few shout outs here, a couple olas. Some of you I'm going to name off are new. Some of you are not, but here we go. Bun Rong Ray, Mike Volmore, Crypto Brad, Sean, Behringer, Felix Zapita, Kino. I used to play Kino a lot.
Toquinho. Brazilian.
Toquinho, mamma mia.
Mamma mia.
I used to play Kino a lot, and my biggest win, I hit a 7 spot for $7,000. It was great. Jessica, Amani, S-Dog, Sean Behringer again, Crypto Hands, DD, Amp Knight, Med, Enos, my boy Wheelin' Dealin' James Wheeler, which my friend got some amazing news yesterday. I'm so happy for you, my friend. D Jenny from the D Jenny from the blockchain, like Jenny from the block. I got you.
Hey, but you forgot Kennedy, man.
I forgot who?
Kennedy.
Nah, I don't give light to my haters. He's gonna have to wait till Rob comes back to get his hola. To all of you that I just mentioned and everyone else, hola! You notice that sounds a little nicer than Robin's drawn out. Hola! Like he's choking on something. But anyways.
Hey, Kenny G, I tried, huh?
Yeah. Try harder next time. Kenny G, maybe. You should not hate on me as much, and maybe I'll show you some love, bro. Who knows? All right, let's get into see what the rest of the altcoin markets are doing. So we're gonna take a look at the top 10. Maybe we can ask Forrest, do you mind pulling up a USDC chart for us, see how that's been trading? In the meantime, we got Ethereum coming in at $1,889. Flat for the week, flat for the day, pretty much, or flat for the last hour, down 1% over the last 24 hours. Tether and USDC combined $110 billion market cap. If Binance would have stayed in, who knows, that thing probably would have been at a 130, 140. But we've seen Tether's dominance continue to rise as USDC's has gone down since their depegging, which was not their fault. BNB, $322. XRP seems like the only one in the top 10 that is up for the 24-hour and the week, up 3.36%, 47 cents. Cardano, 40 cents. Doge, Polygon, and now Solana, rounding out the top 10. I believe staked ETH was in there, but Solana, Solana's growing on me. Solana is growing on me. I threw some shade at Solana in the beginning. I never said I don't think they could come back. I never said it was a debt project. But seeing the news and what they're doing and the partnerships they're creating, and they're starting to distance themselves, that moniker of Sam's coin, they're still a VC coin, right? VC funding. They're still more centralized than they say they are. They still have some issues, but they're advancing the space forward with what they're doing, and to that I'm happy. As far as some biggest gainers and losers, biggest gainers on the day, we have PancakeSwap, Kaspa, Solana, and ICP. And some of the biggest losers, we have Injective Protocol, which saw a massive run up to almost $10. Stacks is down 5.5%. Optimism is down 4%. Arbitrum is also down 5%. So, Forrest, I know you mentioned you had a chart on, I believe, Solana, and there was one more you said you had a Chainlink.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you were joking. I did just put it in the shared Google Doc here. You were just joking about USDC, yeah. But some breaking news today. Cross River Bank. So I'm actually trying to find the actual document here on Twitter, but it just literally disappeared. Somebody deleted the tweet.
Wow, that's cool. Right there.
Did we get rugged?
Cross River Bank.
Oh, here we go.
Where is it? Come on. It's just like they deleted the tweets, unfortunately. There you go. For those following along at home, Cross River Bank is effed, but Cross River Bank is used by Coinbase and Circle. By the way.
It is.
Yeah, majorly. I think it's like their main front-facing bank.
Really?
Here we go. Oh, there it is. It came up again for me. Cross River Bank, a bank used by Circle and Coinbase, received consent order with FDIC over unsafe and unsound banking practices related to its compliance with fair lending regulations and failure to establish adequate internal controls. So you were joking about USDC, but it might be time for round 2.
Wow. So, okay, hold on. This is breaking news right here. Do you have that article pulled up for us, or is it in the drive? I can pull it up myself.
I put the Twitter search in the drive, but I'm about to paste one right below that.
Got it.
And yeah, I don't know why it pasted funny, but
so you're saying it's their largest. We saw they had $3 billion at Silicon Valley, and that was inaccessible for 3 days, and it depegged down to less than 90 cents. Now you're saying this is the largest bank that holds USDC, or their
as far as large, so I don't know if it's like largest in terms of Circle's deposits or largest just in terms. So again, this thing says Cross River Bank has been Coinbase's customer-facing bank for years, and surprise, surprise, it's been facilitating all kinds of fraud for years. I don't know about the fraud allegations, but if it's their customer-facing bank, I'm not sure what that means in terms for Circle or USDC, if that means they have deposits there or not, or this is just like kind of facilitating deposits from customers to Coinbase.
Interesting.
Circle has 3.3 billion in Cross River Bank, and now this bank got slapped by FDIC. So 3.3 billion.
Wow. Now, I want to just, before everyone starts panicking, I don't think that this necessarily means that they're going to be shut down or that they're insolvent. And the big thing with Silicon Valley is they had no access to those funds. Silicon Valley had to shut down and close deposits or close withdrawals down. I don't think this has happened to this yet. I think this looks like just a consent order from the FDIC. Now, what's going to happen? Who knows? But hey, just to be on the safe side, if you got money on USDC, and if this does fall through, and I'm not saying USDC is going to go away, but either look for opportunity to right. I mean, arbitrage. People did that and made a lot of money when Silicon Valley happened. Or if you need the money and you're actively using it, I would move it into something like USDT, something just to keep an eye on. But interesting. Thanks for bringing that up, man. That was I hadn't seen that up until today. So
surprise.
Yeah, but anyways, let's get into Solana first. Let's get into Solana first.
Look, so I'll share my screen here and we'll cover Solana. My Solana chart is more of a funny chart, a little bit of a. It's not necessarily a funny chart, but it's just like all the trend lines converge on like June 21st, right? June 21st is the summer solstice. So you have all these trend lines converging on the summer solstice of June 21st, and everyone loves to talk about Solana summer. So look, guys, just because trend lines are converging at a certain date and you have like these terminal patterns doesn't necessarily mean it's going to explode on this date or anything like that. But I did think that, hey, that's kind of funny. That being said, the trend line that I am watching most is, well, first of all, we kind of have this range here, right? Between kind of our psychological levels of $20 and $25. It's kind of popped up to $26 a couple times, right? And right smack in the middle of that, you have this last impulse move, right? At 22 and change, which Solana is pumping above right now. We have a really solidly constructive pattern here with this low, high, higher high, or I'm sorry, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? So the most recent pattern after this trip down to $16, I mean, we got a lot of buyers sitting down in this region, a lot of demand looking to buy Solana for under $20. And the level that I'm watching the most, or the trend line that I'm looking for to break the most, is this one, right? Ever since we've spilled off, every rally has been cut short thus far by this trend line. We start breaking through this trend line. I do think that Solana could come back up and retest this node of volume, which we have just a ton of volume, right? If we threw on the volume profile, you would just see that similar to Bitcoin's range that we talked about, right? This would be our deviation. Like you re-enter and then you potentially just shoot up to the top of the range, which would be $50 or $46. And you think about psychologically what that does to people. They're like, oh, I faded Solana at the bottom. $46 Solana is, in my opinion, possible and reasonable to head back to the top of this range. I mean, just look at how much volume is traded in here. And then you say this was just one big ridiculous bubble and deviation and artificial pump from VCs, sandbank, whatever you want to call it. But we have the volume in this range, right? We have the spill off, the FTX collapse, recovery, pushing up underneath this trend line and underneath this range support. Re-entering the range could push us right back up into this scenario. And look, to play devil's advocate and give the counter situation, we could continue trending downwards, right? Or we could even get rejected and go further down in a really nasty scenario. But I will say the sentiment around Solana, from Solana users, from Solana developers, and in general on the Twitter timeline, has really shifted from being hate for Solana, hate for Sam Bankman-Fried, hate for FTX, hate for the VCs that bought Solana and got rich off of it, to positivity about its future, positivity about the Solana phone, positivity about Mad Lads and Backpack and the NFT ecosystem and onboarding users in Solana Pay and all these, the Chat GPT Solana plugin. There's like a lot of cool stuff happening over there. And yeah, I just think it's the narrative has shifted to be pretty constructive. So the trend is still down, but once that trend or the macro trend, we're still, haven't broken this downtrend line. But if Solana shows some strength here, takes out this prior resistance, enters this range, takes out the trend line all in one move, which could happen, in the next couple days, weeks, maybe months. That's from a TA perspective, a really bullish signal. That we're probably going to run it back up and retest some of these levels up here. So that's my Solana chart.
Okay. What about you said you had a
I also have
Chainlink
one. Chainlink if we want to look at that.
Yeah. I actually just picked up some Chainlink.
Nice. Yeah, so Chainlink is, we're going to zoom out to the weekly chart. And I know I said Chainlink, and now I'm looking at the Ethereum chart. Let me see if I can, if I have this on down here. Yeah, this is where I've got it. And this is I'm going to show you the buy signal that the Chainlink chart is screaming right now. But I'm going to show you examples of this on Ethereum and Bitcoin, and then go to Chainlink to kind of show you. So you have this weekly chart, this long-term sideways range, right, with decreasing RSI, right? That leads to a correction. That leads to a pullback, right? So RSI is just a momentum indicator. That pullback doesn't look large, but it's 54%. We're on a logarithmic chart here. We have a sideways range. RSI making higher lows leads to a pump. Same thing with Ethereum in our most recent range here. And you could also just make this exact same argument for like this entire range here, right? Large sideways bear market consolidation, RSI making higher lows, right? Leads to a large pump. The opposite is true. RSI making lower highs, right? We fall down. We have a massive capitulation, massive crash out of ETH, right? Moving sideways. The trend stopped going down, started moving sideways. We're breaking out of the top of it right now. RSI is moving up. I'll go through just a couple more examples on the Bitcoin chart just to kind of really hammer this home. Bitcoin going all the way back to 2012, right? Really tight consolidation, right? Sideways movement while RSI is gaining speed, gaining momentum, right? Nice tight increase in RSI moving upwards on the weekly. Same thing with his next consolidation phase, higher lows rather in RSI. And this is the one that's the most like Chainlink today. This is 301 days. This is a very long, almost a year-long consolidation sideways between $200 and $300. RSI climbing, right? Led to a massive rally. Over here again, the bear market bottom for Bitcoin last cycle. Higher RSI, increasing RSI, breaking out of that range, right? The same thing can be said for this top, this 30 to 60K range we've already talked about, lower highs in RSI. And then most recently, this range that we're in right now, you could even, draw it like this and say, we had really strong bullish divergence on the daily, or I'm sorry, on the weekly, where the trend was actually down. It was down, yet RSI was climbing, and that was very strong bullish divergence, which has led to this rally. Now, I'm going to show you the Chainlink chart, and I'm going to ask, does it look bullish or bearish? And unfortunately, we're on dark mode here, and I'm going to have to blind people. I know a lot of people light mode, but I had this done for the YouTube thumbnail that I did. So it had to be light mode. But light mode for one single chart. Look, huge year-long consolidation, 340 something days already. Massive sideways consolidation. But what is RSI telling us? It's telling us a different story than price. RSI is telling us that, like the countless examples that we just ran through with Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? It's telling us it's moving up. Now, is this 100% the perfect buy signal? No, any asset can do anything, and this is on a weekly chart, so it's a little bit longer term, right? There's no guarantees that this is just going to continue to play out like we've seen it play out for other stuff in the past. But Chainlink is fundamentally strong. It's moving sideways, strong consolidation region. Where are all the leveraged traders going to want to hide their liquidation points when this starts breaking out? They're going to want to hide it under 538. That gives us strong support, right? Once this happens, nobody's worried about that. Everyone's like, the lows are in, right? RSI is increasing. You start moving aggressively out of it, guys. This could take months to play out. But if you've got time on your side and you're willing to wait it out, this is a very clear, strong bullish signal for Chainlink, in my opinion. So I wanted to definitely share that as well.
Do you have like a super bullish prediction as far as where Chainlink can go as far as price at the height of the next bull market?
Look, I mean, it really depends on what kind of bull market we get into and how speculative the market gets. I think it depends a little bit less on Chainlink in particular, and that's one of those things that we just have to address once we get there. We'll be looking for, bearish divergences, top signals in the market, top signals in the Chainlink chart, overextension, overvaluation, and that'll be our signal to take profits when the time comes. For Chainlink, that could be at $20, it could be at $100, in my opinion. It really just depends on what the market, says for Chainlink, or what the market feels about Chainlink, and how frothy of a bull market we get when it does come back.
King Christopher said, what is Chainlink's use case? It is the backbone of a smart contract. And so smart contracts cannot operate without what Chainlink does. And so they're the gold standard in the industry. And that is their number one utility. And you can argue it's the most important utility in the entire crypto space. All right, let's move on to some of the biggest news of the day. By the way, guys, before we move on, make sure to hit the like button. You liked having Forrest on all week. You liked the channel all week. If you like the content you're receiving, show us, like the video. Also, a couple more shout outs here. We have Oakley, Krieger Z, O-Man13, Zero Duckies Entertainment, Space Chick Crypto, Anton, Web3, B-Team, and Sailing to Crypto. To all of you, hola.
Hola.
Hola. All right. Someone I tweeted on our page, I said, why are you not watching Sin City? Oh, I'll just pull it up right now. I was like, are you watching Sin City Crypto live? If not, why? Someone said, because Rob, well, they said Rib, but they said, because Rob is not there and it's kind of boring. Need more action. Fair enough. It might be boring, but you're going to get a lot of good information here, okay? Anyways. Oh, man. All right, let's move on. We miss Rob. We miss, all jokes aside, we love Robin. We miss Robin. He'll be back, I promise. Okay? He'll be back.
Let me record very quick in just a second. Let me.
Rocco, I have no issues sharing my feelings. Robin does. So I'll tell him to his face when he gets here. Okay. All right. So we had this whole Coinbase SEC thing, right? SEC filed a Wells notice. We had Gary Gensler go in front of Congress, go in front of the House. And now we have this. Coinbase fires back. Dear SEC, and let's hear what Brian Armstrong and the gentleman next to him is Paul Grewal. This is the chief legal officer at Coinbase. Let's hear what they have to say.
To the chair, other commissioners, and staff of the Securities and Exchange Commission, I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak directly to you. My name is Paul Grewal. I'm Coinbase's chief legal officer. And with me is Brian Armstrong, the chief executive officer and chairman of Coinbase. I'd like to start by turning things over to Brian to say a few words. Brian?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. So again, thank you for the opportunity to respond to this Wells notice. And I thought I'd share a few words just about the founding story of Coinbase and why I decided to base it here in the US and how we've proactively sought out compliance over the last 11 years. So back in 2012, I had just read the Bitcoin white paper, and something clicked in my head when I first read this, that this might be a very important technology breakthrough that could help update the financial system globally. I'd had a firsthand experience seeing how difficult and challenging certain aspects of the financial system were. I had been a software engineer at Airbnb, and I had seen how difficult it was to send and receive payments globally to 190 countries. It was slow and expensive and difficult. I had lived in Argentina actually for a year, studying abroad and working abroad, and I had seen what a country looked like that had gone through hyperinflation, where people had lost trust in the currency and they didn't have access to good financial services. They couldn't get loans, for instance, to buy a car or a home. And so when I read the Bitcoin white paper, I thought this might be an important breakthrough, something on the order of what we saw with the internet, a new global and decentralized system that could make it easier for people to transmit value and update financial services globally. The next decision I had was, where do I want to start this company? Once I realized I wanted to start a company. And I went to some early Bitcoin meetups in San Francisco, and people were telling me, you shouldn't base it in the US, it's going to be too challenging. There's 50 state regulators and multiple federal regulators, and you should start it in Hong Kong or Singapore. And there was other firms that were starting at that time that did that. But I made the choice at that moment to start the company in the US because I knew that even if it was more difficult, the US was a major market, there was respect for rule of law. The US was a financial hub, a technology hub. It was a place where I felt entrepreneurs could work in good faith with regulators to help define clear rules for new industries as they emerged. And so I was lucky enough to raise some venture capital money. The prototype on my laptop, nights and weekends, turned into a small company, and we went off to the races. 11 years later, fast forward, this strategy of proactively working with regulators in cases where it really wasn't clear what we should do because it was a new industry, we tried to do the right thing in the absence of clarity and demonstrate good faith effort that would allow.
I'm going to pause here real quick. What's interesting to me is, you had people telling him back in 2011, don't do it in the US. There's too many regulators. You have 50 states. Imagine what companies that are looking to launch and they start asking, where do you think we should launch? Imagine what they're being told now. Now that we know who the SEC chair is and what their stance on crypto is, what the stance of the president is on crypto as well. It's kind of it's interesting to think about that. 11 years ago, people were saying, don't do it in the US. And here we are today in a much worse regulatory landscape and uncertainty. And, will we see companies at all come to the US until something changes? Who knows? But let's continue.
Allow us to bring this technology in a safe and thoughtful way to hopefully 1 billion people someday. So here we are as a public company. I think we've made enormous strides. And I think the message I'd really like to leave with the commissioners and the SEC is that we're committed to working within the regulatory perimeter. We want to see a clear market structure for trading crypto securities. Not all crypto assets are securities. There's also crypto commodities. There's stable coins. There's crypto that's artwork. We're going to work with multiple regulators to make this industry safe and trusted. And a Wells notice at this stage, when there is not a clear rule book, is not constructive, and it's not good for America. We are prepared to defend that position in court, but it doesn't have to come to that. We welcome a true dialogue about a workable path forward for our industry. Now I'll hand it back over to Paul.
Coinbase has been talking to the SEC about our business for many years now, including sharing our legal views on our asset listing and staking services. We have repeatedly asked the SEC for its own views on how securities laws might apply to Coinbase and our industry. And to be candid, we've mostly gotten silence in response. Coinbase will defend itself vigorously in litigation if it comes to that. But it does not have to come to that. We will show up at your offices any day, any time, to discuss a workable path forward for our industry. But we won't find that path without true dialogue.
That was like when you in high school or middle school, like, meet me here anytime, any day. You want to settle this? I kind of feel like that was a threat. Now, there's one person who doesn't agree with what Coinbase is trying to do, and that is no other than Kevin O'Leary. Let's hear what Kevin has to say about this whole situation.
I thought one of the biggest mistakes of recent was Coinbase litigating the SEC. That sounds like a really bad idea. That does not advance the industry in any way. It makes institutional shareholders cringe that they would be shareholders in Coinbase and be litigating their regulator. Very bad political move. And if I were a shareholder of Coinbase, and I'm not, I would let my displeasure known to the board. this is the kind of thing you want to change management for. And I'm certainly not suing them. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Yikes.
And I've seen lots of stupid ideas, but that is the top of the cherry. That strategy is so dumb. It guarantees you an impasse in perpetuity.
Wow.
And I think that the companies that do that, we don't have to name them, are going to have to change their boards and managers.
So, hold on. Now, this man just said this is the dumbest idea. And just in case you guys forgot, this is also the same man who said this on Crypto Banter.
If SPF knocked on your door again and said, look, I failed in my last venture. I have a new crypto venture. I need money. Would you back him?
That's a great question. No one's asked me yet. I think we can all admit, you can love him or hate him given what's happened, but he was one of the most brilliant traders in the crypto universe. He also built one of the most robust platforms. We used FTX actively. It was a very robust platform that allowed us to get information on a compliant basis. So I really like what he built.
Would you back him?
The answer would be yes. And I'll tell
Loser.
So,
Sorry.
a publicly traded United States company who is under fire, whose entire foundation is at risk of crumbling because of one person decides to take the bull by the horns and pat down their business and make sure they don't falter. They have employees working all the time, money, resource spent. Them going after and trying to get some clarity is the dumbest idea he's ever heard. But investing in a man who literally will go down as the biggest fraud when it comes to the amount of money that was siphoned away from people is a good idea. He would invest in them again. Forrest, share your thoughts and then I'll ask you some directed questions.
Yeah, I mean, look, I disagree with Kevin O'Leary. Look, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what the odds are of winning against the SEC is. I can't factor in those types of variables.
They're not very good.
What's Coinbase?
Looking at looking at SEC's track record, they usually either settle in their favor or they outright win. So it's not very good, right? But
Gotcha.
I'm not a lawyer either, but just to add my 2 cents. This is an area of litigation that hasn't happened before. So it's not like the SEC's prior wins. They have had 100 wins in cases against this style of lawsuit or whatever. The judge can look at and say, okay, well, all the work's been done. It falls in the same guidelines. We don't have that in crypto. So I think that's where I draw the line in the difference. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I think Gary Gensler, as you know, called out by Congress, is so off sides here that you actually do have a chance at winning. And the alternative is just rolling over for the SEC and not doing anything. Like, what is Coinbase supposed to do here? Not defend themselves? Just say, oh, okay, yeah, sure, we'll just go out of business, or we'll do we'll register everything in crypto as a security. We'll just go out of business. No, that's just not the way to do it. And that I'm actually very happy that Coinbase is fighting back here. So, yeah, that's my take.
Okay.
What is his angle?
Who's Kevin O'Leary's angle?
Yeah. Why? What is his angle? I don't understand it. There has to be a reason why. It can't be just random that he say, no, why is dumb? I don't understand. I would love to understand that part.
Yeah, I mean, his involvement in FTX, in my opinion, makes him pretty shady. The fact that he said he would, partner with SPF again makes him shady. His views on crypto regulation, I probably don't agree with, and I'd also argue that I don't know that he understands the crypto space extraordinarily well. And is more so looking for like infrastructure investment plays because he thinks it's going to be a large narrative. But I don't think. I think he's shown his hand. He's shown his cards. When with his involvement with SBF, I just would not side with him, or I would not feel comfortable siding with him.
For me, what I think it is he's coming at it from an angle of, well, if I'm an institutional investor in Coinbase, I don't want them going after the SEC because of their track record. But like, I'm sorry, but if I'm an institutional investor, what am I going to sit back and tell Coinbase to just dwindle by the wayside?
Right.
So
yeah.
And man, I feel like we're gonna get him on a show one day, and I'm just gonna be flat out honest. I'm like, Kevin, you lost my respect the day you said you would invest in FTX. Mark my words, I will say that. I'll say that. Got nothing to hide. All right, let's move on. So we found this talking about regulatory clarity or unclarity. Is that a word? Unclarity?
Okay, I'll find out in my Italian dictionary. Okay,
unclear from Gary Gensler. So here's from ZK Shark. And another one, the below clip is from a fall 2018 graduate course at MIT called Blockchain and Money. Gary Gensler, the current, not president, but the current chairman of the SEC, was a professor. And here we go, September 25th, 2018. Here, listen to what Gary the Gun has to say.
Securities and Exchange Commission has said, regardless, in 2018, the Securities and Exchange Commission has said, regardless of what it might have been in 14, it's now sufficiently decentralized that we'll consider it not a security.
So all these clips, and you know these clips, right? If there's any litigation, whether it's with what Grayscale is doing, whether it's what Coinbase is doing, whether it's what XRP is doing in court against the SEC, you got to figure these video clips are gonna surface in court. And so, again, going back, does Coinbase have a legit shot at winning if they start to enter litigation with the SEC? To me, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. We don't have a landmark case yet. I think Forrest has a point in saying that Gary Gensler refuses to draw the line in the sand as far as what is a commodity, what is a security, because you have this massive lawsuit lingering in the Ripple case. And so until that Ripple case settles, which I believe is going to settle or Ripple is going to completely win, either way, it'll be to the favor of Ripple. And that will now serve as a landmark case. And if that doesn't happen soon, and what Coinbase decides to do, and if they decide to litigate with the SEC, that can end up being a landmark case. And so I think we're closer to regulatory clarity. And I think we're closer to favorable regulation here in the US than a lot of people think we are. And I think Gary Gensler continues to dig himself a hole that he can't get out of. And all it's going to take is for one of these cases to settle, or for Gary to be pushed out, or for people to come together from the left and the right and hold this guy accountable. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You're hurting innovation here in the US. So, you know, they're worried about de-dollarization and moving money moving away from the dollar into a sector, an asset class like crypto. Well, what you're doing is pushing that narrative faster than you can keep up with. So leading up to that, Forrest, by the way, before I move on, you got anything to add to this whole situation? You think it's a good idea what Coinbase is doing, right? Even though it's going to cost them a lot of money, a lot of resources, you think this is a step that kind of, you know, we're lucky that Coinbase is taking. I mean, that's kind of my stance. Coinbase could have easily done what Kraken did. I'm not saying what Kraken did is wrong. Could have paid a fine, settled. But I think what Coinbase is doing is extremely important. I feel like we're lucky that they've decided to go down this path and not give in to the SEC.
Yeah, look, I completely agree. It's the right thing to do. Sometimes out of principle, you have to stand up for what's right.
Agree. Real quick, shout out to Crick Cats, $2 super chat. Gary looks like he lives in the sewer system. Leave it at that. No comment there. But we have this news. This is actually very bullish news. Senator Elizabeth Warren and the other senator, something Marshall, I forget what his first name was. They have delayed reintroducing their BS crypto bill due to lack of sponsors. That's what I'm saying. I think a lot more people are coming. I think Gary Gensler made a complete fool of himself, and he just got absolutely grilled, destroyed in front of the House. We're seeing these clips resurface of him. And so I think a lot of people who were blindly just saying, all right, Gary Gensler, yeah, we trust you. I think they're starting to take a second look because there's going to be consequences. There's going to be consequences at the next midterm elections, at the next primary elections. And I think these senators, these Congress people, these representatives are taking notice. They're taking notice and they're taking it serious. And I think crypto in the next election cycle is going to have a big, it's going to have a big sway there. All right. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Roger Marshall. There we go. So this guy's, so here it is. It's a bipartisan issue. We got a Democrat from Massachusetts and a Republican from Kansas. They have pushed back reintroducing their crypto AML bill in an effort to recruit more co-sponsors. The bill, which was first introduced in the Senate last December, looks to require the crypto industry, including individual miners and validators, to abide by KYC rules, which is the dumbest thing. Tell me you don't know how crypto works without telling me you don't know how crypto works. This is a perfect example here. The latest version of the bill text, which has not been publicly released, includes the same language that opponents found originally very troubling. The following groups will be responsible for adhering to KYC policies. This is what was in the original iteration of the bill: unhosted wallet providers, digital asset miners, validators, or other nodes that may act to validate or secure third-party transactions, independent network participants, including MEV searchers, miner extractable value searchers, and other validators or network participants with control over the network. They would have to KYC. So, exactly, if you're scratching your head, I am figuratively scratching my head, and not literally, but in my head, I'm scratching my head. The proposed law aims to eradicate digital asset innovation from the United States at the expense of the market security by imposing impractical and unworkable compliance burdens on industry participants, said the Chamber of Digital Commerce. Now, for it's the first time this bill came out, I think it had enough sponsors for them to take a vote on, or at least make it to the floor. Now it seems like they don't have enough co-sponsors to even reintroduce the bill. So what are your thoughts on that? Does that tell you, like it tells me, that we're starting to get more people on board, more people, maybe, the people that have legislative power are starting to understand and maybe even take steps to learn more about how crypto really works?
Yeah, I think you're right in that the people's voices are actually starting to get heard a little bit. And when Gary Gensler came, was testified before Congress and was made a fool of, I think a lot of these senators and politicians realized, and especially after Elizabeth Warren came out with, we're creating a anti-crypto army. They realized, you're not going to rally people around being anti-crypto. You look at how strong the crypto community is. There's no anti-crypto community. There's no conferences for anti-crypto like there are for there's crypto and NFT conferences, right? It's just
that's funny. Yeah.
There's no meetings, there's no groups, there's no Discord servers, there's no YouTube channels that are anti-crypto. It's the most nonsensical thing I've ever seen, and I think that politicians are waking up to the fact that this is actually an issue that people care about.
Yep.
In the reverse, on the other side, they're very pro-crypto. If they come out as being anti-crypto, they're going to lose voters and they're going to lose support. And we're already seeing, particularly on the conservative Republican side, more politicians come out as being more pro-crypto and turning that into an issue that people are going to rally and vote behind. So yeah, I think this is it's losing steam and hopefully doesn't make its rounds again.
Elizabeth Warren has been representing the state of Massachusetts as a senator for a very long time. She keeps getting reelected. What an absolute victory it would be. And hear me out here. What an absolute victory would be for Elizabeth Warren. And Rocco, can you find out how long she's been serving as a senator for Massachusetts and when the next election is? If she does not win and does not get reelected, two things are going to happen. One, people are going to understand crypto and our community. You do not want to be on our bad side, right? I'm not saying agree with everything we do or say. Not saying don't do your job as a legislator, but don't flat out come out and say anti-crypto and just throw us by the wayside. Second thing, it's gonna be a warning shot to every other person running for office. Be careful And understand, if you're going to take an anti-crypto stance, be prepared to not win. Be prepared to be shunned, and be prepared if you're in office, be prepared to lose. I think that's going to be massive. And I think Rocco's pulling up some info here. So U.S. Senator 2012, right? Does that say 2012? 11 years, something like that? Anyways, while Rocco's finding that, it's just interesting to me because I know she keeps getting reelected, and people are asking, how does she keep getting reelected? Well, this next election, which I think is happening, do you know the answer to on top of your head for us? When her reelection bid is coming up? It's going to be with the next primary, right?
I genuinely don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll find out. But I believe it's going to be with the next presidential election. I could be wrong.
2024? Yeah.
2024, yeah. Man, if she ends up losing and getting voted out for the first time in a long time, that's going to be massive for our space. And it's those little intricacies, in there that I think is going to make a big difference. Now, on to some more bullish news. Robinhood, which, by the way, I did a video on this yesterday. I'm not a fan of Robinhood. I'm not sure of Force's stance. I definitely know you don't really use Robinhood. I'm not sure if you're a fan of it or not, but if they're onboarding retail people who, aren't in the crypto space, I'm all for it. Robinhood Connect to allow access from external crypto wallets. And we have some news regarding this about Venmo as well. We'll get in that here in a second. Robinhood announced on April 27th, which was yesterday, a new feature that will allow users to access the trading platform's crypto features from external applications. The company's official press release says that the feature will be first added to two wallets, Solana's Phantom wallet and Exodus's multi-chain wallet. I'm surprised they didn't go with something like Trust Wallet or something that's more popular, but multi-chain. Robinhood's press release suggests that the Robinhood Connect will allow users to fund their Web3 wallets while other dApps. Why is this not moving? Let me wait this. All right, there we go. Okay, I can't. While allow users to fund their Web3 wallets while using other dApps and without logging into their Robinhood crypto account. There we go. Thank you, Rocco. Separate reports from Fortune suggest that the Connect feature will allow users to trade assets through Robinhood's crypto exchange. So Robinhood has about $80 billion of customer assets. Robinhood has about 23 million users. And a lot of people have compared it to Coinbase, saying, keep that up there, Rocco. I'll read that in a second. A lot of people have compared it to Coinbase, saying, well, Coinbase has 110 billion or million users. Robinhood only has 23 million. Well, guess what? Robinhood, majority of their users didn't either get in or aren't investing in crypto. They're mostly stocks and stock trading. Now, with this access, with this, being able to use their Robinhood wallet, and what this is talking about, the Robinhood Connect, being able to mint an NFT or not have to move money from here to here and open up another MetaMask account. Are you bullish in that for us? What are your thoughts? And real quick, she's been serving Massachusetts from 2013, and she's coming up for re-election in 2025.
Yeah, so this is, look, it's net bullish. It's giving more users more access to crypto. So it's just the proliferation of the technology. And we kind of, even if you look at the 2016, 2017 bull market, there was no ground laid or infrastructure built for speculating on crypto or investing in crypto at a large scale. Like you had, stuff was still very early. You had your exchanges and whatnot. You had, you had Binance, you had Coinbase, you had, some derivative stuff going on with BitMEX. But outside of that, like the mobile UI, UX, the DeFi, all the kind of underlying infrastructure was still being speculated on. And then in 2020, 2021, we started seeing the beginnings of that. But it's just the whole UI, UX was still terrible. Gas fees super high, not a lot of mobile infrastructure, not a lot of mobile apps, limited functionality. In Robinhood, I believe in Robinhood, you couldn't withdraw and maybe still can't withdraw your actual funds to a wallet on chain. Hopefully this update changes that. So the space in terms of infrastructure has been super, super limited. And stuff like this are steps in the right direction towards making crypto more accessible across the board to everybody. So step in the right direction. I don't necessarily think this is like a headline that's going to make, crypto just completely explode and like this is the end all be all. This is the thing that's like,
be more bullish, man. Be more bullish, please.
It is very bullish. It's just I agree. These things add up. More crypto for more people, more access is very, very good.
I agree, and I agree with you. I don't think this is going to rock the markets, but I want to hit home a point that I've made multiple times. This is why it's so important. When your portfolio is down 70, 80%, and a lot of your friends and family are laughing at you and saying, how's that Bitcoin? How's Bitcoin doing? Or a lot of these people are deleting the apps on the phone. That is why it's so important, right? To really hunker down in the bear market and start paying attention more than you did in the bull market. That is how you create wealth. That is how you make a lot of money, right? Is in the bear markets. Not when everyone's FOMOing in and Bitcoin's at 100K and ETH is at $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. That is not where you make life-changing money. It is in the depths of the bear market. We've had 2 years to sit back, see which projects are going away, which companies were operating on Ponzi-nomics, which companies were operating on soft footing, the ones that aren't going to make it. We're also seeing which companies and projects are building, advancing the crypto space, making partnerships. And that is how we're going to come out of this bear market into the next bull market, 10x our portfolios, 20, 100x our portfolios. It's not by tuning out. It's not by paying attention. It's not by listening to the haters. It's by really buckling down, finding people in the space that are knowledgeable, that do the research, getting opinions, getting different viewpoints, do a research yourself. And so just know that if you're here watching, to the 192 of you watching right now, and all of you and everyone else on YouTube or in the crypto space that are watching other channels, you're getting the information you need. And when you come out of this bull market, those same people that laughed at you, they're going to come back and they're going to say, hey, what are some good tokens to invest in? At that point, you can either decide to give them that information or tell them, hey, we'll see you in the next bear market. Talk to me then.
Just slap them. Slap them. Like
don't you have the sound effects?
Huh?
Don't you have the slap sound effects?
No, not yet. No, we don't have any more, but yeah, that would be fun.
I'm
going to give you some love if that's okay with you. I'm going to give you some love to the
chat.
Give
some love, man. Give some Italian love.
All right. So for make Dave happy, DJ Flex, Arubazo, Grid414, Cash Non-Crypto, Christopher Kate, Johnny Tupac, Lazarus End, GF Turk, MyFred0118, The Crypto Machine, Screw It, Kim Crypto, Derek for Reals, Scott in Swing, Chris Pacino, Uncle Kendall, Scully Hansen, Pong, hey, man, Crypto Ryan. Hola! That's it. I'm done.
You're done, Rocco. That was great. Derek Science said, you guys like S-DAO. Don't know what the hell it is. So I got nothing.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Rocco gets their Nelson names out. Yeah. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. I went on a tangent there. Oh, I was going to say this. At least by Friday, I've gotten into 4 or 5 arguments. Blood pressure medication, I'm out of, but not this week. And Forrest never says anything where I just have to blow up on him. And so I'm itching for a big argument here. It's not going to happen today, Forrest. I know, unless you say something crazy, which I don't think you are, but definitely something. I might have to go home and argue with my wife.
We can just call Robin if you want.
Let's call Robin right now.
Let's call him up.
Say something to piss me off right now.
Say something.
All right. Let's move on. By the way, if you're new here, guys, say hello. We want to personally welcome you to our community. Now, on the back of this Robinhood news, we have other news, this time from Venmo. Crypto transfers are coming in May. This is sourced from Blockworks. Crypto transfers on Venmo are on the way. Oh my God, look at this. Look who's calling me. Robin's calling me. Let's take this phone call. Hello, you're live on air. Can I help you? Hello? 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 Huh, interesting. He didn't want to pick a fight. He said, not today. Okay, that was funny. I said, And I know if he was watching, he'd be, he can't help himself. He'd be throwing in chats in there. So I don't think he heard me. But maybe we have that kind of synergy now where he knows what I'm thinking. It's kind of weird. But anyways, crypto transfers on Venmo are on the way. PayPal announced Friday during Consensus 2023, Venmo customers will be able to transfer their crypto to friends natively on the app and will also be able to move their digital holdings to external wallets and exchanges. This is over the coming weeks, starting in May of this year. Forrest, I know we kind of talked about this briefly before we went live. Share your thoughts on this and, what you know about Venmo and how they make their money and why they're doing this now.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, we're seeing a pattern here. Everybody wants a piece of the crypto pie, and that pie is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just like the last thing. Does this break the markets and send them high? But no, but it helps. Every little bit helps. People are getting involved in a big way. I think the next topic, is MasterCard, unless that's something that we'll cover later. I don't know, but
that's next.
Look, yeah, this is these things. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. There's no other way to put it. Like everybody that sees the writing is on the wall with crypto. The people that understand it, the people that get it, and they're betting on it being the next big wave of technology. We're seeing more and more big partnerships, more and more big integrations. Thing with Venmo so one of the ways that they make money is they earn interest on customer deposits. If I'm not actually, I looked it up in before the show.
You're not mistaken.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if they're buying bonds, if they're lending, what that is. But hopefully that won't be their business model with customer deposits, because then we've got another Celsius or BlockFi on our hands. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure they'll find a way to make money from this one way or another. But look, space is getting bigger. People want a piece of the pie.
Now, Forrest, you're saying people are jumping at this. Like, with all this uncertainty, we don't know if crypto in the U.S. is going to die. A lot of people have said crypto in the U.S. is dead. Chamath Palihapitiya said that. Does this say more about the SEC, or does this say more about just they don't care? There is so much opportunity in our space that they're willing to risk MasterCard, Venmo, Robinhood. They're willing to risk being under scrutiny of the regulators here in the U.S. because the opportunity is so big.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people who are familiar with the space see how off base Gary Gensler and the SEC is, and they don't think that they're going to win the battle. I don't think that they're going to win the battle, and if they do, they're just going to drive a lot of people offshore. And look, at the end of the day, MasterCard or Venmo can integrate this feature and then just turn it off for the United States, right? And it'll probably still be a big moneymaker for them in offshore on their non-U.S. business, right? So worst case scenario for them is they just don't offer it to the U.S. To U.S. customers, and that's been about how it's gone thus far for crypto. U.S. customers have had a lot less opportunity in the space and a lot less service in the space than the rest of the world. So. If they're bullish on crypto globally, then it makes sense, regardless of what the SEC's stance is right now. And that stance is really overblown and offsides, in my opinion.
I want to give a huge shout out to Brokioshi gifting 10 Sin City crypto memberships. Brokioshi, thank you so much. Jimmy's been quiet on the gift of memberships last couple of days. Jimmy, are you okay? I'm going to have to call you after the phone call or after the show. I'm going to have to give you a call and make sure my friend is okay here. All jokes aside, thank you so much for your support. If you are the recipient of one of those free memberships, you get it for a month. We do have some members only videos. You have access to all the emojis as well, so feel free to use them. I think it's intriguing you brought up. Do they maybe know that Gary Gensler in the SEC's case and what they're trying to do is not going to last? Are they forecasting something for us? And these are not just hinky dinky small companies. We're talking, like you mentioned, MasterCard, Venmo, Robinhood, Visa, banks. So take it as you see it. You hear all this FUD. I don't know. I wouldn't call it FUD. I think I agree with what Web3 and me said. Crypto in US here and to grow, big money buying. I think I agree. Speaking of MasterCard, for us, you kind of brought this up. MasterCard is teaming up with crypto firms for card payment options. There's another MasterCard article right after this. According to Reuters, global payment giant MasterCard hopes to expand its crypto payment card program by seeking more partnerships with crypto firms. This is a quote from Raj Damodaran, who MasterCard's head of crypto and blockchain, said, quote, "We have dozens of partners around the world who offer crypto card programs, and they continue to expand. This is even as the crypto sector comes under close scrutiny from regulators and banks are becoming more cautious." And banks apparently are, freezing and closing your account because your LLC name has crypto in it. MasterCard has already partnered with crypto exchanges, including Binance, Nexo, and Gemini, to offer crypto-linked payment cards in select nations. And then we have this. MasterCard is teaming with Solana and Polygon on new crypto credential standards. MasterCard is teaming up with public blockchain developers, Polygon, Solana, also Aptos and Ava Labs, which is behind the Avalanche blockchain, on a new set of standards it's dubbing Crypto Credential in an effort to build the trust of consumers, businesses, and governments in the sector. Instilling trust in the blockchain ecosystem is a critical step towards realizing its full potential, said the head of crypto at MasterCard. We need a way for trusted, compliant, and verifiable interactions to take place on public blockchain networks. MasterCard Crypto Credential will establish a set of common standards and infrastructure that will help attest trusted interactions among consumers and businesses that are using blockchain. I think I had one more thing highlighted down here. Yeah, the move shows continued interest that large global payment processors have in crypto, despite reports of slowed down plans amid a widespread market decline over the past year. Now, Forrest, I don't have a specific question for you here, but share your thoughts on we saw news, Visa's doing the same thing. Now MasterCard, but not only integrating crypto, but trying to reinstill trust in the crypto ecosystem by creating this new crypto credential program.
Yeah, everyone wants a piece of the pie. Same thing. And I think they realize too, like when you can use Polygon or Solana or Avalanche, like you can send USDC on Solana for like a fraction of a penny. They realize I think they realize that puts their business model in jeopardy, right? Because their business model is taking exorbitant fees for processing transactions on their private MasterCard network, right? The payment processing network. If Solana and Avalanche and Polygon can do that at scale with stable coins, not like users having to expose themselves to risk through holding Matic or holding Sol or holding AVAX or holding Cardano, whatever that that non-stable coin is. If they can do that with like Solana Pay with USDC, and that transaction takes fractions of a penny to go and pay your groceries, and Publix all of a sudden doesn't have to pay a 2 or a 3% fee on that transaction. That is huge. That is huge. And I think these payment processors and companies are scrambling to find a business model that grab a lot of customers, right? They want to grab users and customers, and then find a business model that they can monetize around this. So everybody wants a piece of the pie. If they don't get on board, they're going to get left behind. So this is good news.
Speaking, and I don't have much to add. Sometimes some things don't need commentary. It's just bringing you the news. I want to speaking of bringing back from the dead. I don't know if you said that, but I hope you did, because that's a great segue into our next piece of news. Terra Classic community considers proposal to stabilize USTC, which was formerly UST, which was the algorithmic stablecoin of none other than Do Kwon and Terra Luna. And they're pitching a new mechanism to bring back the peg of the UST stablecoin. Forrest, I'm going to get your take on this. But first, in an effort to repeg USTC to the dollar, the Luna Classic community is once again mulling over a new proposal. It involves a mechanism that includes divergence fees on USTC trades that deviate from the peg. These collected fees would, according to the proposal, be used to repurchase the asset and further help it regain its peg. Divergence fees and buyback mechanisms. That's what they're calling it. The divergence mechanism is designed to stabilize the value of the Terra Classic USD by imposing fees on trades that deviate from the target peg. These fees are determined by the difference between the market price and the peg price, and they are used to buy back USTC and maintain the peg and eventually get it back to $1. The fees would apply to all USTC trading pairs, which what platform is doing USTC trading pairs, right? Do you know of any? You know anywhere where you can go to where you can buy Bitcoin with USTC? I don't either. The community would own the USTC accumulated through this process, and it would be distributed for various purposes such as rejuvenating the ecosystem and locking more tokens out of the circulating supply, which I just got to do this. I got to see where we at on USTC and how far are we from the peg, and does this have any chance? And oh, look at that. We're at 2 cents. Forrest, are you using any USTC trading pairs, and what are your thoughts on this new proposal?
No, look, I think I'm in the camp that I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. Look, will this kind of proposal maybe cause some shorter-term pumps and speculation from the degen crowd? Like, oh, it's coming back. You might see some 3Xs, you might see some 4Xs, right? Just like dead cat bounces, or people getting really excited. It pumps. It makes it to the top of the charts for a couple of days. Like we've seen it have those really crazy 40% rallies in the past. But as a long-term investment, just no. As far as this for a specific proposal, I'd have to put it didn't list the actual parameters for how large those fees, those divergence fees would be. But to me, it's still. Again, I'd have to do a deeper dive into the proposal to see if they, covered all their bases. But to me, it's just still very vulnerable to death spiral, right? Let's just say you're selling your USTC for 80 cents on the dollar, so you get another divergence fee. It's slapped on top of that, and you get hit with a 20-cent fee. So now you can only sell it for 60 cents. People panic. They pay the fee anyways. That fee goes to buying back Terra Luna. Which maybe increases the backing, but it's still potentially issues with the death spiral and people just getting scared and selling anyways. So maybe they're trying to build a better mousetrap, but just start a new protocol, right? If you think this divergence fee thing is going to work, why not start a fresh brand, a fresh protocol, rather than using the Terra Luna ecosystem? It doesn't make any sense to me. Staying away, but be on the lookout for some pumps because of this. People like to speculate.
I can't, bro. Just let it go, man. Guys in the Luna Classic community, just let it go. It didn't work, right? There's so many good projects out there. Why are you holding on to this Luna Classic, UST Classic? Why? For the love of God, why? And for the love of God, I want to thank my man, Jimmy. Came through. Another 10 gifted memberships, Jimmy. Thank you. To all of you, we appreciate you. And to all of you, Rocco, real quick, before we sign off. Are you buying a USTC? Are you trading in USTC pairs? What are your thoughts?
No, absolutely not.
No?
I mean, it depends what you want to do. If for the safe, you want to just speculate, do some trading in and out like that. So that's it. But there are better projects if you want to just do a long-term investment. No.
Is Shiba Inu one of those projects? Are you wearing the hat for that reason?
Hey, baby Shiba Inu, baby Getty Gensler, Shiba Getty Inu.
Getty Inu. Oh, man, guys, we're done. We're done. Yeah. Guys, it's been a fun week for us. Thank you so much again for filling in. We appreciate you. Amazing insight. We love having you on the show. Like I said before, you're part of the channel. And so, guys, if you're not already following Forrest, go follow him on Twitter at 00 Forrest. Just changed his Twitter handle. 00 Forrest with 2 R's. Also, if you're not following him or subscribed to his YouTube at Sistine Research on YouTube, make sure to check that out. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, or if you're not following us on Twitter, we're at Sin City Crypto 1 on Twitter and on YouTube while you're watching it. So just subscribe. We're also on all other platforms. And if you want more Forrest, more insight, some research papers, Discord access, indicators that he used today, like margin pressure levels, Feel free to use the affiliate link in the description of this video, support Forrest, and to support the channel. That being said, Forrest, before we let you go, anything you'd like to leave us with? Any wisdom, anything exciting, just anything?
Thanks for having me on this week. It's been a pleasure. I was trying to think if there's anything in the market to keep an eye on, but
maybe something
we covered
personal,
everything.
Forrest. Maybe something personal. I don't know.
Personal. Are you? Is there
something personal you're looking forward to this
particular?
weekend, or something in your personal life that is exciting? Maybe are you having a baby? I don't know.
No. My wife's going to Taylor Swift tomorrow, so I'm just gonna be kicking it with the dogs.
Dude, Taylor Swift.
No, pretty boring, but exciting for her. But I'm not going. She's going with a friend.
She sold out. She sold out 80,000 person stadium 2 days in a row.
Yeah, one of her coworkers got a ticket, paid $1,000 for it. $1,000. That's crazy. That's half an Ethereum to see Taylor Swift.
That's like that's almost not a Bored Ape, but anyways.
That's like 200,000 USTC.
Yes.
It's 200x in a Rod Stewart concert.
Rod Stewart, yeah.
200x.
No, look, I appreciate you having me on the channel all week. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved it. Looked forward to it every single day, and I look forward to coming on Fridays back at our regular time. Love the community here. What you guys have done in the last year is nothing short of amazing. I think you guys have the best product in terms of crypto content and live streams on YouTube. You guys are going to blow up, and I'm going to be here along for the ride. I absolutely love what's going on here with Sin City Crypto.
We appreciate those kind words, my friend. You know, a lot of time and effort has been put into this, and out of it came an amazing community, and we're growing, and out of it also came great friendships. And so, you know, you believed in us when we were like 700 subscribers. And so, my friend, we going to the top. You coming with us, bro. We're all going together. You're coming. Rocco's coming. We might leave Rob behind. Who knows? But definitely the community's coming. Also, we're very excited to announce this channel has gone a year and a half with no sponsor. We got our very first sponsor. We're rolling out on Monday. We are extremely excited. So make sure to tune in on Monday. That's right, baby. Very first sponsor. We're excited. And when you find out who it is, you'll understand why I'm so excited. All right, Forrest, thank you so much. Again, guys, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Rob will be back Monday. I know a lot of you miss him. I'm saying it again, I miss him as well. You know, this show is not just David, Rocco, Forrest, it's Robin as well. He has a big, big influence on the show and everything you see. And so we're excited to have him back. We're excited to have you back. With that being said, Dave Digital, I will abide by your comment today. I will not do a finger tornado. Rocco, cue the music, baby. But I will do my friends and family of friends, and all that fun stuff. Thank you guys so much. It's been an absolutely amazing week. We hope you learned a lot. We hope you had a great time. We did. Check out our merch store on behalf of myself, Rocco, and Forrest. We love you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Till then.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao a tutti. Ciao. Ciao.